All right, ladies and gents, welcome to the final best of 5 in the round of 64. It has been 2 weeks of this tourney. There was the round of 128 with tons of best of 3s, and now this is the final best of 5 in the round of 64. It is another best of 5 where many of you probably are like, who on earth is this player? And no offense to Faraday, I know Faraday well. I've known this guy for years. He is one of many Brazilian players who plays within or sometimes just out of that top 100 and has been around, but he doesn't really go deep into tournaments. I'm not sure on his real preparation for this. There's just a lot of question marks over what type of performance he's going to be able to bring to the table. Now, Dragonstar, I know he doesn't necessarily jump out like he should, but Dragonstar is the best player in India, and he's the 25th seed. He's extremely active. I think if you want a player that's inventive and good with creative strategies, Dragonstar is definitely one of those players. And I'm good friends with Dragonstar. I even prepared with like Hidden Cup for him because he was trying to make it into Hidden Cup just, well, a year ago, I guess, at this point. And I'm excited to see what Dragonstar can do in this tourney. Dragonstar is playing as the Malians, and then we will have Faraday in the blue playing as the Persians. Or, no, Berbers. I'm so used to saying Persians for game one. Sorry, he's playing as the Berbers. And one more thing to bring up as we talk about this position here and everything we typically do on Nomad is it was confirmed this morning that this will be the last time that we see Malians in WWC, okay? This is the last time we see it. The most played civilization from the first round was Spanish. We banned that out for the rest of the tourney. The most played civilization from the second round or round of 64 is Malians. So say goodbye to Malians. This is the last time you will see Malians. And then for the third round and the fourth round, we'll also be banning out civs. We'll see what happens there. Here's the dock for Faraday in the south. Not the first time we've seen Berbers picked here. And what I do like for Faraday is that he could potentially just full stonewall right through the middle here. Right, so he could stonewall here, here, here quite easily. And then maybe fast castle and go to stone and go camel archers. That is something that's quite common on this map is fast castle. So I feel like your best unit with Berbers could be camel archers. Now, Faraday is scouting on the shoreline with his sheep. And he's looking for that dock. And this is really thorough scouting right now. Because docking is important on this map. And by the way, I believe ships can actually cross over this. I doubt we'll see it in this game. But I believe ships might be able to cross over that. It looks like you shouldn't be able to. It looks like that's solid land. But I was deceived in a practice game once with just a little bit of snow. And for whatever reason, the enemy could cross over. So just something to think about. Malians have the cheaper TCs, the cheaper docks, the cheaper houses. They can afford so much early, and it's so huge on Nomad. Not to mention they have great options. And look at that. Faraday now knows that Dragonstar has docked over here. So Faraday has shown me with his sheep scouting that he knows what's up on Nomad. That will not tell him where the enemy TC is, but he knows the enemy dock is there, so he might assume the enemy's over there. All right. You know, apart from the dock positions, as Dragonstar has a rusty start to game one because he just got housed. I'm looking at boars. Dragonstar will find that boar, so that's boar number 2. And there's another boar over here. This is just unlucky. You should be within reach of quite a few boars. He'll, of course, have time to spot that. And then there's another boar over here. Stone is right underneath his TC. I don't think castle dropping early with Malians is usually a thing. It would be good against the civ like Celts, like we saw in that amazing series with Dark and God of the Godless. Of getting the Gebetto out is good against infantry. But not so good against ranged units. And not even so good against knights, to be honest. But the stone is there, which is helpful. You've got this very awkward line of berries here, which is funny. Okay. And then he could always take the gold back here. So I think overall the maps are looking pretty good for both players, right? You've got the gold and the stone pretty close to Faraday as well. What we've talked about a lot on Nomad is fighting for fish. In fact, in this tournament, truthfully, we have had a lot of instances where we're talking about fighting for fish. I think to have success in this tourney, you really need to be a well-rounded player. There's maps where you can boom. There's maps where you can kill someone early feudal. There's maps where you need fish. There's maps where you don't. It's been a pretty diverse map pool so far. I think what's exciting about it is We have not seen the potential of the majority of the non-nomad maps. That we have absolutely not. I can guarantee you that. Because we had quite a few 3-0s, quite a few 2-0s. There were some good sets, but I think there was only 2 best of 5s in the round of 64 that went to the 5th game. And even then, it really did feel like the players clearly, on the maps that they lost, didn't practice as much as maybe they could have for those maps. And that's just because there's 8 maps, man. If you want solid practice, you probably need to play 5 games on a map. That's a lot of games when you only have a week to play each round. So I think once it's round of 32, that's when the big matchups start. And this is the week right now. Like right now, players are talking about strategy and practicing that round of 32. Okay, so Faraday's going to stone right now. So this already tells us his approach is going to be going fast castle into camel archers. Now, he spent 200 wood on the mining camps. He does not have the wood for a second dock now. So this is a pretty big deal, right? You look over here, remember, it is cheaper for Dragonstar to do all of this because his wood buildings are discounted, which is why Malians are a top pick. And he adds a second dock. And I'm looking at his scouting here. He doesn't really seem to know where the dock is for Faraday. And honestly, if I were him, I would go this way, I think. I mean, granted, he has scouted more of the shoreline over here. But I feel like this is the fish boom you want to prevent. If the opponent's going to be fish booming down here, it seems less likely. And I'm just not so sure if it's worth starting. What players will do, actually, is they'll send one fire ship this way and one fire ship this way. So, cool. Now, this is a little weird. He's gone up to feudal age so quick, and he's gone to stone. So this is not really a fast castle build. But he's just going to have one on stone and just kind of think about it long term. I still don't think either player knows where the other one is. As we have a blacksmith, and market for Dragonstar. And his resources will actually look pretty good to go up. And Faraday is opening galleys. I'm really confused. I feel like if you're streamlining towards galleys, you would never go to stone at all. He would never be taking food like this at all, but he's got a pretty solid balance, and this might surprise Dragonstar. To be honest, Dragonstar's gone right up. This is kind of flip-flop what I expected here. I thought maybe fast castle for Berbers and water control. But if you're safe with your own fish, and you still have villagers on wood and gold, in Dragonstar's position, you can still make fire galleys. This is a very, very clean uptime. Also, what's up, Ryan? Maybe another dock over here could do for Dragonstar. It's a shame there's no shorefish here. If there's a shorefish here, this is a perfect dock. But what you really want is you want a position where you can dock and then also take the shorefish. So I think he might head over here. Yep, exactly. So he can still drop off food at the dock with his villager. It's funny, man. I have to go back and look at what the meta used to be. But that shorefish thing, villagers dropping off food at the dock, is relatively new to Age of Empires. It was never anything that people focused on. Now, galleys do snipe fishing ships really quickly. I'm looking now at Dragonstar. I'm not sure if he spotted that. But he's got a fire galley here, and it just seems like perfect timing, right? One fire galley will be able to take out 2 galleys. Unfortunately, he missed it. And here comes Faraday, and Faraday's got to know that this guy's moved around with his fishing ships. But it's worth reminding you guys that Berbers also have faster ships. So he's looking, and he's so quick! And the fire galley just gives up. He's going to go down here where you've got a galley and a demo waiting. And the fires are on the way, but holy crap, man. These galleys, and they do have fletching. Okay, they see a fishing ship now. Let's see how many fishing ship kills he can get off this. 1, 2... 3 volleys to kill a fishing ship. Wow. It might not seem like the biggest deal, but if he can kill 3 or 4 fishing ships with just 2 galleys, I think this whole trip is well worth it. He must have calculated this, man. This seems like he knows that you can 3-shot with 2 galleys. And look at him run away. Wow. Meanwhile, here comes a fire, which would be a problem normally, but he has the demo waiting, and he'll kill that now. And Dragonstar is still going to focus on water. He's getting his upgrades. In the end, this is still just a sniping force for Faraday. As he is on his way to Castle Age. And he's going to swoop back in with the galleys. Alright. Here he comes. And look, Dragonstar's looking for him. Oh my goodness, dude. You could say it's a little sloppy from Dragonstar to leave his fishing ships unprotected right now, but Faraday has done a sick job here. I haven't seen anything quite like this to start off. And look at this. He's using the Berber bonus. Woo! Just zooms away. Well, meanwhile, for Dragonstar, it's still not bad. It is still fine. He's going to add the second TC. He will need to invest into more food eco on land, though, because he only has 2 fishing ships bringing in fish now, which is far from what you've had for Faraday. Faraday's had 6, and he's still got a couple hundred food down here with the fish. Not to mention that in the Castle Age, he could still focus on water, as he's repairing his ships and now mixing in the fires. What else is really nice about this is that if he switches out of going full galley, which seems to be the play right now, he will still be in an okay position because he's research fletching for galleys, which will then affect his camel archers. So it's kind of nice how that works out. Not an ideal fight, but he is still going to end up taking a good fight here if he realizes that one's weak. I think Dragonstar should be running back here, and Dragonstar is not going to be able to run away from Berbers. Unfortunately, I guess Faraday didn't realize that was still weak. He's just now getting the wood upgrade, which I think you could question. He's dropping the castle, which I like to see. And I forget how much gold it is to get the war galley upgrade. I think it's just a little bit more gold, and then he can research it. And the galleys came in over here. It looks like they were just short of sniping another fishing ship. But I would add 1 or 2 more if I were Dragonstar. It all depends on if you think you're going to be able to fight through the choke. But I personally would add 1 or 2 more. As again, I think Faraday still wins this fight if he realizes that one is weak. But I mean, patience is fine here. The further you run back, the more you're going to be able to chase Dragonstar. And there goes the demo, and the demo hits, and it kills the weak one. It also weakens another. And the galley goes down, but now Dragonstar is going to lose out on water control. It probably won't happen because he's going to switch into a different focus here. But a dock over here for Faraday, where he could just send in one fire after another to hit this area would be so nice. Not to mention, he could always add fishing ships there. Dragonstar adding another dock, and he's been a little sloppy here with his water, I have to say. He's clearly focused on the 3 TCs he has, right? 3 TCs, taking board, taking gold, taking stone. I think Dragonstar is going to realize that there's potential that army could come over here. And so he's on stone so he could maybe drop a defensive castle, which I like. Also, could always use demos throughout this choke point. So you're going to see Faraday try and run through. Demos are just going to come flying in. It's really important to keep your ship spread out, but it's so difficult to do that as we see one demo land, and this is what I mean. Here comes another one. Boom. 2 ships together. Oh, he spread out. Okay, not too bad. Here come the camel archers, guys. And you know what's so sick about this is Faraday, the 89th seed, still has villagers on stone. I don't think Dragonstar's reacted yet. He's probably fighting on water. Now he sees this. But what I'm thinking is Faraday stays on 2 TCs. He doesn't try and go for the 3rd and spend any more stone. He could maybe drop a castle right on Dragonstar soon. I'd love to see a castle here. That seems like such a good spot. Or even right in here would be good. As Dragonstar's been annoyed so much on water, he's been forced to focus on it, and now he doesn't have anything on land. Faraday sits his camel archers here on stand ground, so they won't move closer to the TC, which is smart. Both of these things are weak. Then he's got another group on this side, and I'm really liking how the Brazilian has started this off. Granted, he is now behind in villagers. He's 20 villagers behind. And he just loses a camel archer there. Yo, what's up, Duve? What's up, Adam? Adam, thanks for the stars, man. The 777 stars. For people who might see this on YouTube in the future, it's my 7-year channel anniversary, so that's why we've seen a lot of 7s. It feels like when you're in Dragonstar's position, things can so easily fall apart if you let these camel archers mass, right? Right now, he's got an eco lead, but there's so many opportunities for camel archers to come in and kill vills. Right here. Right here. Right here. I mean, on the wood line. And he's added a monk now. I would have personally liked to see a siege workshop and maybe some scorpions from Dragonstar. He ends up killing a camel archer, but loses the monk and loses the vill. And I can tell you his efficiency's not looking good right now. And this is where I want to see that castle from Faraday. I'd love to see him drop off villagers, maybe with the golds, and come forward and drop that castle. But how bold is he going to be is the question. And there goes the castle for Dragonstar. Okay, so not a great castle spot, but it's probably a safe castle spot, which is what he needs for now. And Dragonstar only with 2 fishing ships, so all that water control he has now doesn't really seem to benefit him. And here comes 2 villagers. Okay, and here comes more. The Faraday does not know about Dragonstar's castle yet. I think Dragonstar should probably research fletching. And it's... Oh, God. Faraday could lose his castle. He could lose his castle foundation. No! No! Oh, he deleted it. Thank God. It was a 23 HP. He didn't lose the villager somehow. But now he knows there's a castle there. So my line of thinking is just get your second castle up as soon as possible because you want more camel archers. And just drop it right here on this TC. But I think on Nomad, because I don't really have that Nomad brain when I'm playing, right? When I'm casting, I'm there. But when I'm playing, I'm not. I think that dropping a castle to deny this is what you really want to do on Nomad. The one camel archer that was converted is here. We also have some Gebetto. I think if that tree wasn't there, Faraday would be able to have success and drop the castle. But see, now you're giving Dragonstar a little bit of time. Camel archers go in. They're going to take out the monk, but they lose a camel archer. Here comes the vills. They're going to start building the castle eventually. Villagers. Villagers. TC. Oh, man, this is dicey. And Dragonstar's going to drop his own castle. And this is what I mean, man. You wait too long. And now the stronger eco for Dragonstar allows him to make his own castle. But I'm not even sure this is going to go up for him. He needs to send more villagers, and it might still end up working out for Faraday. His camel archers will be there enough to protect against the Gebetto. This castle's at 75%. This one's at 50%. I think both castles go up here. And maybe a situation where Dragonstar's got to think petards. Maybe you want to get rid of this castle sooner rather than later. Because it feels like this castle is going to range so much of your eco. You can see this is dying, this will die, this will die. Dragonstar needs to expand right now. He's been very compact. Like, maybe get some villagers over here. If he would have had a TC over here, I think that would really help him. And there's the petards for Dragonstar. So he's going to take care of the castle, but he's spending a lot of food on petards right now. And Gebetto also costs food, and villagers cost food. Whereas Faraday is not spending any food. I think you just drop back with a castle here now if you're Faraday. And just continue to make camel archers, because that camel archer is really your strongest unit right now. Usually it becomes a race to imp in these situations, but Faraday doesn't have a ton on food. And Dragonstar's been spending a lot of food, though you would think that the player who's only making camel archers would be able to go imp faster. Yep, you're going to see this go down. Oh, man, Dragonstar. He doesn't have the food for petards. This is not good. That's 14 villagers attacking the castle. Not to mention the TC's in range. So the TC could get shot down before the castle goes down. It might be like, what is Dragonstar up to? Well, he's adding farms over here, trying to fix that problem. And he has to react to the camel archers as they've looped around. Where's that next castle going to be for Faraday? He goes for a very defensive one. And I like that. I still would have preferred this, to be honest. I think he's stressed because it's a tourney, right? So he doesn't realize that a castle there would probably make a lot of sense. Dragonstar buying food. Still needs to add petards. These villagers are just wasting their time here. And these villagers, I think they were idle, and Dragonstar selected all of his idols to send them somewhere. But holy man, like, Dragonstar's got 30 idols right now. And Faraday is selling stone to maybe get some gold here so we can go up to the Imperial Age. Murder holes. It is funny. Malians do research university text faster. But I guess Dragonstar doesn't need murder holes, right? Faraday might need murder holes. Honestly, I think you should rush murder holes. I know us high-level players are stubborn about murder holes, but this is just asking for murder holes. He's going to go imp. But, dude, murder holes. He needs a university anyways, most likely, for ballistics. So that is surprising. But what's better? Killing the village... Like, okay, so let's say you get murder holes. You kill 3 villagers, and then Dragonstar realizes. And then Dragonstar just sends his villagers back to work. Like, this castle's already doing more than enough damage in that these villagers are attacking the castle, and then these villagers are all idle, and Dragonstar hasn't realized yet. I think Dragonstar's dead here, guys. He's had a horrible time dealing with the pressure in this game. And Faraday has opened up this series like a champ. Like an experienced Nomad player. The 89th seed clearly knew what he was doing with Berbers. The ship opening I'd never seen before. And Dragonstar just looked completely overwhelmed at the moment. Bloodlines is on the way. That affects the Camel Archers. They'll have more HP now. Would like to see Ballistic still. We mentioned that. Here comes the University finally. I'd like to see an immediate double treb opening from Faraday. From both of these castles. This castle's probably going to go down. But that's expected, right? Like double treb opening and then get Bracer for your Camel Archers. And I really don't think Dragonstar has an answer to this. Eric, I'm not sure who Faraday beat in the first round, but if someone could maybe check that for me, that would be good. I could have done my homework there. But being the 89th seed, he most likely beat someone that was around maybe the 40th seed. In fact, if I could hear who both these players beat, that would actually be really, really good to hear. I think whoever Dragonstar would have passed in the first round would be a little less known, but maybe around, 90th or 100th seed. Dragonstar's efficiency has been so off. I just can't believe this castle's still standing. I've never seen anything like this. I do not think attacking with villagers was the proper play here. The Camel Archers will get Bracer and Ballistics, and this is where I want double treb. He doesn't quite have the resources for the next treb yet. That would make so much sense. Now, it seems to me as well that Faraday noticed that there's a TC over here. So I don't think he'll go for it right now. I think his Treb should go for the castle here. Take out Dragonstar's castles and TCs. Dragonstar now getting infantry armor. He's nowhere close to clicking up to Imp. And I think that Camel Archers are one of the toughest units to counter in the game. Straight up, in the game. Like, wouldn't Camel Archers actually be pretty decent against Huskarls in Castle Age? I guess not. I'm just trying to think about unique units that are strong. Like, I fear Camel Archers more than most unique units. Let's put it that way. So TC will get Trebs down. We're going to have more Trebs on the way and more Camel Archers on the way. My outlook is you already have a significant mass of Camel Archers. So the best thing you can do is just add more and more Trebs, which he's doing a mix of. And, Dragonstar is going to make Gebetto, I guess, because it's the only military buildings he has. We're talking about, 7 range on the Camel Archers? I think Gebettos have 5. Gebettos have 10 attack. Camel Archers will have 11. But it's actually 11 attack for both with all their upgrades. Camel Archers are affected by ballistics. Camel Archers fire faster. They have double the HP. But Gebetto do have a high rate of attack. And there's monks here for Dragonstar. Dragonstar's final fight is this right here. If he has any chance in this game, he needs to clear this and he needs to clear the Trebs. If he does that, he's in this game. But I think we're seeing that Camel Archers are just the better unit. And they're also they only cost wood, they only cost gold. So the number 1 picked civilization in this round, in the Malians, is going down against the Berbers. And we have the 89th seed doing it against the 25th seed. The game plan from Faraday was so good here. I cannot stress that enough. It was so good. He didn't allow the Malian player to fish, but he also he kind of baited Dragonstar into a lot of water control and then switched it immediately to land. And Dragonstar just never looked like he knew what he could do there. Faraday wins the game despite being at 88 eco and Dragonstar having 120. And honestly, if we look at the food, it would not at all surprise me if Faraday had more. The gold, maybe Dragonstar had slightly more. But let's see, Dragonstar's got 23 farms out. And you've only got like 15 on farms. But I still believe that Faraday maybe had more simply due to the fact that his villagers were working more efficiently. I'm probably wrong. No, I was right. And that's pretty crazy to me. And he had so much more stone. So if you look at the total resources collected, It was 30,000 versus 28,000. Faraday collected more overall resources despite being behind in eco because Faraday realized that with pressure, the eco would not be very efficient for Dragonstar. And I think right there, that is a weakness for Malians. Granted, we won't see any more Malians in WWC, but the weakness to a lot of these fast castle, win, water, go night civilizations is if they don't have a fish boom, the unique units normally stomp them. And the reason for that is because they'll always add town centers to create vills, but without a fish boom, they're not going to be able to produce knights and also, or camels, and also villagers. Sick stuff. All right. Very different scenario. This Nomad tourney just brings so many different scenarios. There's so much more depth. Or not more depth, it's just a different outlook on how to play. Faraday feeling good there after game 1. And here we are. Dragonstar normally picks teal, but I've been switching him to yellow just because I think it's easier to differentiate from. And here we have it. Dragonstar playing as the Japanese. Not sure if there's any Spirit of the Law fans out there, but I'm sure you're excited to see this civilization. And Dragonstar transports over to the east as he will go for his town center. And then you have in the west, the TC for Faraday. And that looks really, really good. But I actually think the lack of wood is going to be annoying mid-Dark Age. Because having the berries there is clutch. But I guess over here, you know, Dragonstar has a little bit more wood. And he has the deer. He could always make a lumber camp or always add a mill as well later on. You start with 2 fishing ships on this map. And then you start with 3 villagers. And then you start with your transport ships. So you start with 6 out of 5 population. Players need to make that house. They do make the house. And they both dock to the center islands. You have 4 seasons on this map. I don't know which season is which. This looks like fall. This looks like summer. This, I guess, is winter. And what's left? Spring? I guess that's fair. It's not a very wintry winter. But it gets the point across. It looks very nice. And each corner has 2 boars. Occasionally, you'll see elephants, depending on where you're looking at. And that's always really cool as well. Now, the way most players have been playing this so far is they never want to lose water because fish is always so important. So they'll always TC pretty early on. And then eventually they'll go over here. Eventually they will. But we haven't seen a whole lot of that. Again, I think that once we hit the round of 32, round of 16, if people are picking Compass, the players at that point are so good and so even, it will develop more into 50-50 battles on water in Castle. And then at that point, you've got TCs for everyone. And I'm not just saying that because of my theory. I'm saying that because there was a map pretty much just like this back in 2018, which is what inspired us to do this. I forget what it was called, actually. And probably most of you don't remember that. It might have been 2017. But anyways, if you remember that, you'll remember there were some pretty crazy strategies. And the level's closer than ever now, right? So I think that once we get those big names together, it won't be quite as snowbally. Good question from Wen. He says, why does no one go north for the first TC? Well, remember, it doesn't make a difference where you go exactly. There's not really a big difference in what you find. The reason they choose their sides is because of how close they are to the land. So for Faraday, he started here, and this is the closest land to him. And then for Dragonstar, he started here, and this was the closest land to him. So they want to get villagers pumping out of their town centers as soon as possible. I did just pick up on how it's winter in the north and then it's summer in the south, though. That's pretty cool. Yeah, map looks really, really nice. So Faraday has Lithuanians, and Lithuanians start with plus 150 food. So, I mean, you could go up to feudal age super quick, and what the... Okay, hold on a second. Is this going to be a 15 pop feudal age? I think this is too fast. He currently has 12 eco, 9 of which are villagers, guys. And he's going to click up to feudal age. What? Okay, the fastest feudal age we've seen on Compass so far in this tourney. And he won't be able to make a second dock at all. Okay, so here's the downside, right? He's going to rush feudal. And of course, people always want to go fire galleys on this map. But when people go fire galleys, they want to go 2 or 3 docks and then pump out the fire galleys. He will not be able, with 7 on wood and 2 on gold to afford anything except maybe 2 fire ships out of his dock. And then it's going to be a struggle because he's up against Japanese, and Japanese fishing ships are hard to kill. But maybe, in his eyes, he thinks that the only way to kill Japanese fishing ships is if he has like 3 minutes to be able to kill the fish. Guys, Dragonstar is going to crap himself here. Dragonstar is going to think that Faraday typed in Advanced to Feudal Age, like the chat trick. This is nuts. Oh, he's making a second dock. I think the second dock is honestly a mistake. The second dock would make sense if he had like 18 villagers maybe. But remember, no lumber camp either, so he won't be able to get lumber upgrades. And okay, here comes the first fire galley, and he can't afford the second one. This is insane. Absolutely insane. Now, he is able to make more villagers now that he's in feudal. But if Dragonstar doesn't take losses here, I think Dragonstar is going to be in a much better position. Can he use galleys again? It's actually not a bad thought. It's not a bad thought, but I think here's the problem. Like, when you play this way as well, you can never afford more than 3 fish. And the opponent normally is going to have 5 or 6. So let's say you end up using 2 galleys to kill his fish. Okay? You say you kill every single one. He's going to have eco to produce out of 3 docks. And his fire galleys will kill your galleys and kill all your fish. So in the end, he just had more fishing ships working for longer than you. And then you both have 0 fish and you have no water control. So I have to say, this is a really... Oh, and I didn't change the score. Shoot, I'm so sorry. This is a really fast uptime. And I do commend him for going for something crazy. But we'll see if it's crazy enough to work here, as the fishing ships for Dragonstar are still moving around. It also might just be the case that this isn't too strong against the Japanese. Because, to be fair, if it wasn't Japanese, the fishing ships would already be down. Dragonstar realizes his fishing ships are tanks, so he's just, you know, doesn't really seem to care. And, you know, maybe I thought it was crazier than it really is. At this point, you've got to have a few fires for blue. He's got 3. He's got 4, excuse me. And he's got 2 more on the way. You know, maybe I take it back, guys. Maybe this is actually a really good opening for him. So much faster than I would have ever expected here. He's really struggled with food income, though, as he's not been able to produce villagers as consistently, like you can see on the bottom. Okay, so now we have the fires for Dragonstar. Dragonstar didn't lose a single fishing ship yet. All the Japanese lovers are gonna say, no, T90, don't change my civ. But I think Japanese fishing ships are too strong. Don't at me. I think they're too strong. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm okay with them being strong. I just think they're a little too strong. But it is good how much variety Japanese bring onto the water. And here you have Dragonstar. And Dragonstar with a little bit of repair work. It wasn't too clean for him. Still ends up getting some good engagements here. And, you know, overall, this is a pretty close game right now. As the transport ship goes down for blue, but you don't really need the transport ship here. Oh, big demo for Dragonstar, and it should lead to 2 kills for him. Well, maybe not 2, actually. Maybe not 2. He's going to sacrifice his own transport, but in the process, blocks his own ship. And I'm still trying to keep an eye on the repairs in Dragonstar. Late to repairing, I have to say, guys. Like, Dragonstar should know better. He should have some repair villagers out. He's going to land a demo here, though. And Faraday has proven me wrong. He has proven me wrong with this. I can't believe I'm seeing it, but that uptime has actually benefited him. Insane. His fishing ships are still working. The fishing ships for Dragonstar could soon die if Dragonstar doesn't get a couple more hits. And Faraday, I think, has also had better water micro. He's had better water micro in every single game so far. As the repairs were way too late on the individual ships earlier. The 4 ships V1 with the repair is never going to work as a demo comes out. Still, though, problems on this side for the Indian player. Okay, chat, did someone tell me who Faraday beat in the first round? I completely forgot to look at chat. Or maybe no one did, no one said anything. This is where you do need to make sure you are collecting food in different ways, like taking your sheep, your pigs, and your berries here. You're starting to see a little bit of that here for Dragonstar. He beat RMQ. Really? Oh, that's why people were saying RMQ. Okay, I remember seeing RMQ in chat and I was confused. Can you tell me what the score was? Beating RMQ is a crazy result. Now, granted, I wouldn't have said RMQ would have been super good in this tourney. But still, that's not bad. So it seems like a close game. You have 4 fishing ships working versus 3. And it could still swing either way. And this is the type of 50-50 game you want to see if you're a tournament host. All right. Demo should come out for Dragonstar. He's actually producing fires from here. Feels like this is the tastiest spot for a demo, as a demo comes out on this side and lands hugely. Also, fishing ship did go down too. And again, man, look at the KD. I mean, I think Faraday has just done so good in water. He seems very capable when it comes to any map that has fishing ships, as he showed in game number 1. Both players struggling to get the food to go up. Both players not really focusing a lot more on food, to be fair. I'm surprised by that. I think what they might do instead, as we see a demo there, is they might market. Some players will market and just buy food. It's a bit power spiky if you do that, right? You can get food a little faster, but long term, of course, you'll want some food income. Is this the Microsoft tourney? This is one of many Microsoft tourneys, my friend. But yes, this is sponsored by Microsoft. $25,000. And we got sneak vills for Faraday. And he walked the whole freaking way around here. Remember, he lost his transport ship. Wow. Now, will he make outposts and look for that gold? Because there's always 2 golds. He sees 1. And then if you were to find that one and tower it and somehow wall in the tower, that would be really cool. See, the repairing, man. I'm impressed with the repairing. But now Dragonstar has the numbers. And the repairs are not going to be enough there. As Faraday could be losing water control as he's probably transitioning into land. Fire after fire goes down. This is a desperation attack for the fish. There's not very efficient fish left for either player. And Faraday now adding a barracks. Wow. Okay, so this is where Dragonstar feels like he's won water. You could potentially add more fish if you want to, but I think right now you still have to respect, as he demos the dock. Big mistake. He still has to respect the possibility the opponent will come back on water. He'll buy some food here. And guys, there is a chance that he will sell all of his stone and buy food to go castle. A lot of players do this to get a faster castle age on water maps. Let's see. He's buying the food. He's adding the blacksmith now. And the reason I'm freaking out about this is because if he were to sell the stone, the archers could wreck him. Matej says, why does no one use Byzantines for water maps? Their fire ships are fire AF. They do, but right now I don't think it's really the time to pick Byzantines. I think later on in the tourney we might see Byzantines here when other civs are banned out. And Byzantines seem to work good on some of the other maps. Like Golden Hill, for example, having a cheaper Imperial Age, and then also having some water on that map so you can fight with your fast fires. I think that makes more sense. Okay, now if I'm Faraday, I'm just trying to land demos at this point. And not demos on fish. I think demos on fish would be a mistake. I think demos on the fires, just so if you can come back later on water, the ships are weak. Another thing is, if you're ever going to attack with sneak archers, guys, you need to make sure that you have 5 archers with fletching as a minimum. Never attack with archers without fletching. It's not going to be fast enough unless you've got, you know, maybe 10 archers. So if you're going to make this count, you need to make this count. And Dragonstar's like, I'm a god, I'm winning. He would never say that, but he's like, I'm doing this. And I'm going to tie up this series right here. And here come the archers, and Faraday's done his homework. He's got 5, and what you do is you get behind them first. So when the villagers have to run, they run towards the archers, and wow, look at this. He's killed 1. He's going to kill 2. He's going to kill at least 3 and probably more. The wood line's here, the gold is here, and suddenly Dragonstar's completely off of gold. He's completely off of gold. Okay, what he needs right now is a stable. Yes, this is a good play. He needs to go for a stable. Because what he does have is food income after adding more fishing ships. And what he can do is use the market to get whatever gold he needs for a few nights. So this is the correct play for the Castle Age player, but there's holes everywhere for Dragonstar, and this is super stressful for him at the moment, as he's going to lose 2 more villagers. And even this, like, half of his eco on land isn't even working right now. If he can't use the resources he has to make knights to clear this, this could be GG. Also, I think Faraday needs to add spears. If he can add 3 or 4 spearmen, yes! If he can add the spearmen, he won the game. Well, maybe not, maybe not. Dragonstar could go here for gold. Dragonstar could always go there for gold. And there he goes. He's leaving now, which he can do because he has water control. And he's going to look for that gold. Also feels really good to have cheap mining camps and lumber camps right now, let me tell you. Like, seriously, if he had to spend 200 wood on a lumber camp and on a mining camp, he would be in trouble. He's looking, guys. He's looking for the gold. He knows it's got to be over there. Faraday's about to lose his houses on this island, which might not seem like a big deal, but that's a massive deal. Because he will be pop-capped due to that, though he's making houses around the tower. And now what he should look towards is going castle. And then finally Dragonstar finds the gold. Okay. So I think keeping these villagers alive is crucial to this. And I don't know what she's doing, but she... I don't know, maybe she likes bad boys and she wants to flirt with the enemy or something, but... She's actually surviving, okay. We'll probably see siege for Dragonstar, but his resources are kind of at the limit. I'd love to see a redock for him somewhere where there's more fish, because he's still got fishing ships working, but he's, again, at the limit. What I mean by that is maybe a dock here, because then you've got more fish around, you know? Because that's your food eco right now. We haven't seen sneak attempts work too frequently, because players have always gone in too early, and Faraday almost gets rocked by that shot. But he notices, and that tower will buy him some time. I think these 2 villagers need to make a stable, and then you can go knights against the siege here in the next stage. And Dragonstar expecting that. This is such a good game. He's going to wait for monks. This is such a good game right now, guys. Amazing series. Yep, there's a stable. Yeah, both these players know exactly what they should be doing. And I think that villager, I don't know where she went. Anyone keep an eye on her? I know it's my job to do that, but, did she die? I think she died. Anyways, I think he believes that Dragonstar might have run this direction. That is not the case, of course. Dragonstar is in the north. Tony, this is live, my friend. What's up? What's up? Tower goes down. Here comes the siege from Dragonstar, and you've got the knights. I think the timing for Dragonstar could be pretty good here. I think killing the 2 villagers would be clutch. Faraday does not see this. 1 villager goes down. Faraday will now try and react. He needs to keep his archers alive. He needs to get a knight out. And this is a little awkward. Here comes the knight. Let's see if he can get crossbow. Let's see if he can run with Matilda. That's what we're calling her. Run! Run, lady, run! Run! Oh, God, there go the archers. She's dead. Okay, she's going to die. And Dragonstar with a big attack round actually shot too far in front of everything. And are these archers going to loop to the north now? What in the world? What a crazy journey as the knight comes out, but Dragonstar had the monk. And wow, round of applause for Dragonstar. That could have so easily gone wrong for him. He could have lost the siege. He could have not been able to kill the Vills. But now at this point, the whole knight play from Faraday seems a whole lot weaker. And now he's got to think through his options. In theory, he could use his crossbows to snipe the monks. And if he snipes the monks with the crossbows, then he could use the knights, and then he'd be fine. So he might try that. The Dragonstar patrolling here with the fires won't do too much. And the knights, well, they snipe the siege, and here come the crossbows now. And, oh, another conversion. Man, he really should have killed that monk, I think. But he's scared because he knows there's more out there. He also now realizes that monk doesn't have faith. Neither of them do. Now, Dragonstar's currently distracted. You've got the middle where there's water. You've got his own base, and now he's got his new base. Will he notice this? Let's see what his reaction time looks like. Yeah, if he's ever going to get overwhelmed, this would be the moment. And in the end, Faraday kills 3 villagers, which is very good for him. And then there's always these buildings over here, which are going to stress out Dragonstar, and it'll make him want to clear it up. But it seems like Dragonstar, as he's got villagers, what the... Where's he going? This is a little confusing. I think he wants to TC his gold. But anyways, it seems like Dragonstar does have quite a few vills over here. And he maybe is preemptively running, though he is now dealing with these crossbows. Faraday adding the second TC. He's, of course, been behind in eco. Has no fishing ships and also behind in vills. But there's no way for Dragonstar to do damage to Faraday's eco right now. And as I say that, I thought he was transporting knights, but those are just very offensive cows. And here come the crossbows, and the crossbows really should not have run through. Like, if he would have realized the fires were weak, he could have taken them out. I guess Dragonstar doesn't have that many upgrades, but it felt like it could have been better for Faraday, let's put it that way. And he calls it! No, don't call it! I don't think this game is over. I really don't think this game was over. I think he realized that he lost one too many crossbows here, and he sees the score. But, I mean, Dragonstar has the lead, don't get me wrong. But I really think Faraday is okay here. I think he could go 3 TC. I think he could continue to try and pressure. And I really wish players would drag this game out on this map a little bit more. Add a defensive monastery. Wait for the knights to come in and just convert the knights when they come in and boom it out. I think that the reason people are calling it a little early here is because water boosts your score so much. And if you look at the score right now, it's 4,100 versus 3,000. He probably thinks he's behind by like 30 or 40 vills. So that's a little disappointing. He is behind right now. There's no doubt about it. Faraday maybe thought he was more behind than he was due to the freaking score. But anyways, he did have a lot of fight in him. We can't say that he just gave up. A lot of players would give up after losing water. He gave himself a real fighting chance. And well done from Dragonstar to minimize the damage. I think the most impressive play from Dragonstar for me was the addition of the monks with the siege. Because the double stable could have easily swarmed him if he didn't have the monks. He would have lost the siege. Crossbows would have then killed the knights. And then the crossbows would be all over him here. And then, of course, there'd be more focus for Faraday in the north. The score is 1-1, and we are going to move on. Yeah, let's look at the resources collected here. This is what I mean, man. It doesn't seem like it's that different, right? There is a little bit more food collected for Dragonstar. And he's, of course, collecting more wood to add fishing ships or fish traps or farms. But it's not like... This doesn't feel like an economy difference that would be worthy of an 1,100 score difference. Moral of the story, if you're in trouble, deploy the battle cows. Yeah, right? KD was still super good for Dragonstar. Potential, the snowball, that was still really good. Of course, would have kept the relics in the middle away from Lithuanians, too. We have ourselves a series, ladies and gents. Dragonstar in the yellow, my friends. And he tied it up. He did a great job tying it up, and here we have it. Game number 3. Faraday, who upset Aremku, the clown, in the first round, is here to try and get another upset. And interesting how he sent his vills. You notice Dragonstar immediately sent all of his vills over here. Dragonstar's Italians. He's going to add his town center now. Very good TC spot. I like that. And I think he's making a weird run for a dock right now. So the players always start with their villagers on opposite sides of the hill, and it's always near your crossing. And if I were Dragonstar, I would have docked here or here, because what he's looking for is he's looking for the most fish possible with his first dock, which is normally going to be where there's the most water, which is right where the crossings start. I mean, the scouting will actually be hugely beneficial for him, to be honest. But I'm still very surprised. Maybe he's looking for a shorefish. Maybe we need to look at this, to be honest. Because this does seem like we should have more shorefish generated. I mean, he could eventually find a shorefish if he looks a little bit longer. I hope he finds it. This is still a good dock spot. It's weird to go this far in the first place. I think over here would have been the better play. And Faraday with Persians, you start with plus 50 wood, plus 50 food, and you can afford a house, a TC, a dock, and a fishing ship, all at the start. Which is why Persians are seen as one of the best civilizations on Nomad maps. Okay. Dragonstar very late to his dock, we have to say. And this is not his home map, remember. This is Faraday's home map. Game 1 was Nomad. Faraday won quite convincingly. Game 2, Dragonstar played super good and responded. I forget the other home maps. I think Houseboat and then maybe Mired are out there. But this will make it interesting because I think if you were to play for water, if you're Faraday, you would always expect the dock's going to be here or here. And so there's a slight chance he might assume that the opponent doesn't even have fish here. There's a slight chance anyways. George says T90, I think you missed my question earlier. Do you think if you go early feudal versus Japanese, should you stay around the dock instead of chasing ships? Well, it's very unrealistic if they're competing for water that you're ever going to take out their docks. So I think chasing ships is the way to go. Good question. Yeah, like, let's say you take their dock down to half HP because you're that much faster. They're still going to get fire galleys and a demo out soon. So I think if there's fishing ships to try and take out, you take out the fishing ships. Anyways, let's look at Faraday's scouting at the moment. Because there are boars out there. And if you watched the Max Duity set that we casted yesterday, it can be kind of tough to find those at times. Be a little unlucky, too, I think. The boars aren't exactly close. Let's put it that way. I might have a conversation. It's a little tricky, but I think maybe not for the round of 32. Maybe round of 16 will... Like, we should at some point update the shorefish here, I think. I think I'll have a conversation with Grazini about that. But when I spoke to Grazini, the tough thing on this map is balanced fish generations. I think the struggle comes in with how he spawns the deep fish. I'm no scripter, but do you see this terrain here? That, like, half marsh that you can't walk on, but is still there. I think he uses some tricks with that to get the fish to spawn, and maybe it affects the shorefish. But quite honestly, the TC was up so quick. The dock was up immediately for Faraday. Dragonstar had plenty of time to drop his dock. Didn't do so. And so now he's in a position where Dragonstar is behind. Not crazy. His fishing ships are cheap. He can catch up, right? But he is a little bit behind. But what we should really talk about is the gold on this map. So there's 24 tiles of gold in the center. There's 7 tiles of gold on each side. That is it. Just like Gold Rush. So you need to use what gold you have to control the middle. I know some Lowy the Legends out there would probably say, why not mine the gold now? Then, of course, your villagers are pretty exposed. And it's some walking time to get out there. It's not a bad strat to go to the middle, by the way. But I think after watching games and playing some myself, the best order of doing things on this map is 2 TCs on your land, 3rd TC in the middle. Which obviously might not be able... That might not be a possibility. Because you might not be able to cross. Still a little confused by Dragonstar's dock position. Will he go fast feudal if, at this point, he realizes that he's so far away from the enemy? I think with Persians, you should always go fast feudal. Any map, really. Any map in the tourney. Your docks have extra HP. Very hard for them to contest on water. You can add the fishing ship and 1 extra vill with the resources you start with. So you have a really fast start. I think you should just snowball that into an even faster start. And that seems to be the play for him. As for Dragonstar, he's bringing in a boar now. And Dragonstar doesn't have a lumber camp yet. Or a mining camp. Yeah, so he has a dock. He needs some other building in Dark Age to be able to go up. And honestly, guys, he has the food to go feudal. It's like 410 or 420 food to go feudal with Italians. This is just not a very well executed uptime here from Dragonstar. Faraday surprised me being here against Dragonstar. He surprised me game 1. And he's going to have double dock, but there's no scouts, of course, so he doesn't know where the enemy is. Yeah, this is what Faraday has scouted. He's scouted a lot. He's scouted quite a bit, but he doesn't see the boar. I might see that with his sheep here in a second. For Dragonstar, is this weird scouting path simply because the villager walking down there for the dock? But he also has decent scouting over here too. If anything, I think his scouting is slightly better just because he sent the villager down here. So yeah, this villager, since there's no shorefish next to the dock, is now a house villager in my eyes. So this villager would just make houses because there's nothing else to do. Could eventually bring the boar back. And then 3 docks. Okay. 3 docks versus 3 docks. Lots of fires, lots of demos. Probably. I just hate facing Persians on Nomad maps. Even if you win water against Persians, their docks have so much HP, you can never kill them in feudal. It's insane. You're just like, well, I guess I'll just sit here and let him demo me in the face. Great job from Faraday, though. Being up faster than Italians is not easy to do. I think it's a combination of a slick build order from him, but also Dragonstar being late. And Faraday now is like, wait, what? He's not docked here? Why wouldn't he dock there? He would probably always dock here himself, right? He's looking, and now he sees the dock from Dragonstar, who's going to open galleys when he's later to Feudal Age. I hate this with every fiber of my being. I believe if you're going to open galleys, you have to be faster. Of course, I could be wrong, but he has now overfished all of his fish. Now the fire's here, and he's going to need quite a few galleys to be able to contest the fire ship. So let's see how this works. Now, if he gets fletching soon, it could be good. But as you can see, Faraday realizes the weakness, and he's going in for the galleys, but the fishing ships are blocking. But guys, if we're talking similar numbers, the fire ships are better than the galleys. I think if 2 or 3 more fire galleys come in here, Dragonstar's completely off water. What was he thinking? A demo comes out. Demo does land. What was he thinking? This is just so bad. This is just not a winnable strat. In close quarters, which you could say that this is, galleys also struggle. But more than anything, you need to have time to mass the galleys in your docks. And he's just losing every single one and hoping for demos to land. I think when you see Faraday's and Feudal faster than you, you open fire ships. There's no question. I think this is just, to be very particular. This is just bad. This is a complete throw. 10 kills, 2 deaths, poor decision making from Dragonstar, and we have Faraday over here with a villager who's made a house, so he might go for land again like he did in the previous game. There are also shorefish around if you want to take food on land. He's going to take the berries for now, but he's got to be really happy with his start because he is fish. Not the most efficient fish, but he has fish and always the potential to add more if he feels like he's won water. Tristan, you woke me up. How did I wake you up, man? Okay, what's crazier? Opening galleys when he did or continuing to make galleys when the opponent has 10 fire ships? I think continuing to make galleys when your docks are on fire and he's surrounding you with fire ships is even crazier. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Now, this I understand. He probably just wants to demo the opponent's fish. But what on earth is happening here with Dragonstar? We knew going into this tournament that some people might not prefer these maps. Some people might not perform as well on non-standard maps. But as he streams galleys in towards fires and they die, Dragonstar has looked really, really shaky here. That said, demos coming in, plus the galley's been weakening fish and forcing them to move around. So, this is good. This is some damage. That's maybe why he made the galleys. This villager here making an archery range on the front, though. Faraday's gonna try and pressure the gold, maybe, or whatever he can find. Of course, no scouting. It's like the docks are slowly going down for Dragonstar. He'll maybe have one more attempt with demos and galleys. But guys, even his macro could be questioned right now. 500 wood. Though he is starting to farm a little bit. How does Dragonstar have the eco lead? Good question, actually. Wow, Faraday's had 3 minutes of TC idle time. Wow. Okay. So I guess you could say both players have made some pretty big errors for high-level Age of Empires. 3 minutes of TC idle time means he's down 5 villagers. Also, he only has one working fishing ship right now. So, you know what? To give credit where credit's due, I think Dragonstar has done at least a good job with the executing here on land. And the fires and the galleys and the demos did harass the fish. Not bad. Very common if you're going for all-in water builds to like never look at your TC. Or not never, but to look away from your TC as you're trying to micro. I can kind of understand it, but holy moly. He probably tried to queue up vills, but when his fishing ships were moving around he didn't have food income because he only had like 1 or 2 on berries at the time. And okay, Dragonstar on the way up, but there's archers. There's archers over here. Dragonstar still remaining competitive in this game. But now I'm wondering what his plan is. It looks like he wants to be back on water. I actually really like this. If the opponent doesn't have patrolling fires on the shoreline, I really like a double dock, return to water with Italians. Because while your eco's shaky, you do get cheaper dock techs, and you don't want... Forget the fish, but you don't want the opponent to be able to control this area. Because you want to go middle. I think if you don't do this, you go for a second TC, and you go for a monastery. And then you can pick up relics, and you can also convert ships. But what he doesn't know is that there's archers. Both players are on the way to Castle Age, so I think Faraday will wait until their crossbow. And this basically comes down to where Dragonstar builds a TC. If he TCs here, 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 I think he's pretty okay. But, oh man, he's going for galleys again. Oh, God. Going for galleys. What are you doing to me? He loves his galleys. Now, to be honest, masked galleys works well on this map. I completely died when Tato did it, but he had a better build order and was in feudal age faster and is like twice the player I am, so... Maybe he thinks that he's twice the player Faraday is based on the seed, so who knows. Here come the archers. Fletching is in. He didn't wait. He did not wait, and he's on the golds, and Dragonstar needs to push back on water in his mind. He has not reacted to this, and now he's reacted, but now it might be too late. I think an immediate siege workshop is probably the play. He's going to struggle to get resources to make whatever he wants. And wow, man, off of gold, down villagers. And there's the siege workshop, and here's the mad scramble for Dragonstar. As we even see a stable for Faraday. It's just like in game 2. He wants to have knights in case the siege comes out. It's such a good decision. And now he's swarming the docks, and the opponent has freaking galleys. And not demos and fires. And so Dragonstar's dead. Dragonstar's dead. This will not do enough. All 3 docks are going to go down. Everything he's made in the docks is going to go down. And let's see how Faraday executes on land now. This is amazing. Again, I don't hate the idea of coming back on water. But I hate the idea of trying to go for galleys. Because you need to have more galleys than fires. And that's never going to happen. I think rushing fire and then rushing demos would be good. But the biggest thing that has gone wrong for Dragonstar is simply the fact that Faraday is having more than a fair day. He's having a great day. And the score is 2-1 now. Faraday, the 89th seed, is up on the 25th seed here. Holy cow. And to be honest, Faraday has played every aspect of every game fairly well so far this series. Game 1 looked good. Game 2, I think... I honestly take back what I said early feudal age from Game 2. And I think that he GG'd early simply because he didn't realize how close the game was. And then this game, I mean, he could have easily just gone for water and allowed this game to go late against Dragonstar. But he snuck a Vill again. And it just seems like every time he sneaks the Vill, it's doing damage. And he shows up at the proper time. I think if he waits before going in and he waits for crossbow, there is a chance that Dragonstar already has a TC here. And then all of this is a waste. He pretty much arrived to Dragonstar's gold right when Dragonstar hit castle. In any other tourney, guys, this is absolutely unheard of. FYI. In case you didn't know this. In any other tourney, it'd be absolutely unheard of for an 89th seed to beat a 25th seed. Just wouldn't happen. But Faraday's come prepared. He's come experienced. And we're going to have game 4 coming up here. Let me actually update the score. I think it's important to distinguish, because Eric in chat is saying Nomad only players are getting some crazy good results. Faraday doesn't play only Nomad. He does play, you know, he plays a lot of Arabia, just like Dragonstar does. I think the difference is some players are better at new stuff, and some players have experienced more Nomad maps over the years. Like, if I know Faraday's history, and I might not be spot on with this because I don't know him super well, but I've known the guy for years. He has played a lot of Nomad team games, and I think the guys who play Nomad team games experience so much crap that they normally are able to adapt a little bit more. All right. So here we have the TC for Faraday. He's 1 win away from his 2nd upset in a row. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but if he were to win, I believe he would be the lowest or lowest or highest. Always flip-flop it. He'd be the lowest rated player advancing into the round of 32. So it would be the biggest story if Faraday were to win this, especially against the 25th seed. Here you've got Dragonstar. And what's weird to me is he scouted away from his villagers there, which is a little sloppy, right? I feel like what you want to do is you probably want to scout in front of your vills so you know where to drop the TC. So he was a little late dropping his TC. But, you know, Huns are, I think, pretty good if this gets to mid-feudal age. I've been talking about it a lot. I know Dave's outlook and many people's outlook is Mongols, Mongols, Mongols on this map. But we've seen quite a few games where Mongols make it past the point where the boars have been taken, and they just don't look too sharp. Huns versus Mongols, if it was a standard lands map, I would say the exact same thing. If Huns survive the early feudal age rush, Huns have cheaper cav archers, Huns don't have to build houses, so they're very flexible. Huns overall are quite good. But here you have Faraday. Faraday bringing in boar number 1, and of course there's 10 boars in the middle. We've seen some super lamey games where players will do crazy things and try and steal the boars that are on the other side. We've seen players try and block with their horses too, but we haven't seen that attempt yet. T90, good to see you casting on Monday too. Got exam soon, and you help me procrastinate like always. Oh yeah! I'm here for you, man. I'm here for you. Well, it just sucked to be off last week. Like, honestly, it's just been one thing after the other for me over the last few months. And it's also been a really kind of like a eventful and stressful few months too, with a platform switch, and then, you know, getting COVID, and then having the holidays, and just a lot of stuff, you know. And it's just been one thing after the other. And last week was when I was feeling so good, and I was so ready for a long week of streams. So many fun things I wanted to do, Loey the Legends, community games. And then I got sick, and I was just like, come on, life, you know? But I'm not going to let it get me down. And I'm feeling much better today. I'm still not 100%. I wasn't this weekend either, but it probably comes off like I'm 100% casting. Let's put it that way. So I'll take it, and I just feel good, you know? So happy to be live. And happy to be casting this set. This set is really good. Faraday is benefiting from faster food income from the boars. And neither player is trying to block right now. It's a very peaceful thing in the middle. He's like, you take your 5 boars, I'll take my 5 boars. I'm surprised. I mean, we saw one player bringing in 3 boars yesterday. But instead what we're seeing is a lot more scouting of the other areas of the map. So maybe more long-term thinking. I would love to see some scouting in the back here for Faraday. Because think about it. He could wall this way, wall here, wall this way, wall this way. You can basically make an arena for yourself. And the TC is going to be at the front. Like Dragonstar could do the same thing with a little bit of walling. He'll have all of his gold and stone back here, and he'll have wood. And there goes the horse for Faraday, so he knows where the TC is. Now I'm looking at Dragonstar. Dragonstar does know where Faraday's TC is, but he still has his horse, and this is good for him. Also, super weird that Faraday is making a mill on one singular shorefish here. And he lost his horse, so he must not know where the other hunt is or where berries is. Oh, man. Wait, there are berries on this map, right? Yeah, okay, there's just berries. It's weird. I think the berries are normally... I don't know how to describe this direction. But they're normally in the middle-ish. This isn't making any sense. Never mind. The Dragonstar says, thank you very much. And I haven't been keeping count of the boars, but I think he ends up having 6, and I think it was 4 for Faraday. But actually, I could be wrong on that. Faraday's bringing in... I mean, he's got 2 underneath his TC. He must have taken 1 before that, at least, and now he's got this. But this will be a very fast feudal age uptime for Faraday, as he's also sending villagers to gold. It seems to me like this might be a man-at-arm build. And there's still 1 out here. That's going to Dragonstar. Yeah, so I think 6-4 makes sense, but it still could have been 5-5 because Mongols take theirs so fast. Oh, that horse is so important, and the horse goes down. The horse goes down, and so there's not a lot of scouting from Faraday to know what Dragonstar's up to. And Dragonstar did not see the barracks either. So these villagers could be exposed. The wood villagers, though, should be pretty safe. I love the idea to go man-at-arms here. Now, he doesn't have a lumber camp, so he can't get his wood upgrade for efficiency. He's going to save his wood most likely to go for the archery range. So this is definitely about doing damage quickly. Do you think wolves in the middle would make it more interesting? No, I think it would make it awful for the players. It's already pretty crazy. I don't think we need to make it any crazier. Now, if it's community games, on the other hand, heck yeah, let's add like 10 wolves and we'll ban Magyars. When it's community games, I'd love to see you guys struggle. But I say that with love. And you guys don't even lie. You guys like to watch it too. All right. There should be 9 regular boars and 1 iron boar. No. It's a competitive tourney, guys. Come on. All right, so Dragonstar's point of view is important here. Will he notice this? He sees the militia. You have to run immediately. Okay, he notices it. Now, I wouldn't use 1 militia against the deer, personally. It's cheeky, but I think you need that front militia to be blocking here. Normally, you want one of your man-at-arms to block. Yeah, he could still do it, though. Okay, that's a dead vill. Dragonstar won't even try and quick wall it. He'll give up, and that's a great start here for Faraday as he looks to complete the upset. Behind this, he's got his archery range. Behind this, he's making an archer. He's now adding the lumber camp so he can get his wood upgrades too. I mean, this looks so clean. He's on deer. This looks so clean. And by the way, Dragonstar didn't even have loom, which helps. It helps Faraday, that is. The only downside I'd say for man-at-arms on this map is that most of the food eco and wood eco is always going to be right next to the town center. So man-at-arms can do good at pressuring a gold. Man-at-arms can do good at pressuring the deer. But beyond that, if you look at this right now, Dragonstar is kind of fine, and he's going to be making some scouts. The man-at-arms definitely drop off from here. Let's see if this is spotted. Faraday will see the stable, and then he's going to add a spearman. And now it's decision-making time, because Dragonstar is likely just going to farm around his TC. So with that spearman, you're going to want to send it forward to protect your archers and your man-at-arms. But I also feel like there's an argument if you're not walling to maybe have the spearman at home. Oh, I love this, though. Oh, I love this so much. Force Dragonstar to pop out with those scouts soon and bring the spearman forward then. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Whoop, whoop, micro. Wow, he didn't take any damage there. Good job, Dragonstar. That was really good micro. And if he had 4 scouts, he could take the spearman. This is important timing. Tries to get the archer, gets the archer. Buys himself time as well to make skirmishers. By the way, I love this map. I think this map is incredible, and I think the way Dragonstar is playing this is really good. He'll cut off the reinforcements. That should be an easy spearman kill. But oddly enough, he chooses not to go for it, and he's just going to use his skirms now to take out the spears. Here he goes for the counter. Faraday already walled up, but it's not a full wall. It only protects the villagers there. Dragonstar will be on the hunt for more kills. This army just feels so useless right now, doesn't it? It can't get to anything here. And here come the scouts now. Again, 4 scouts can take out a spearman if they want to. Dragonstar tried to attack the farm and Faraday deleted it. That's amazing. And good job from Faraday. He now has pulled back. I think this is a solid game, but this is where the Huns start to look a little bit better. Not having to make their houses means they save a lot of wood for buildings and for farms. Mongols don't have any eco bonus they're benefiting from at this point. Gold is an issue for Dragonstar, but for the time being, the only gold he needs is the gold for fletching, and he's got 50 gold. So he's going to pull back to his gold. I think he's just bracing himself for this army to come in. Can't quite counter that just yet, though. See, in an Arabia game, you'd still have like 4 or 5 vills on berries. And so you'd have more on food to be able to produce more scouts and skirms. It's still a little rough. Because neither of them are on berries. Okay. Here comes the man-at-arms. Here comes the spearman. Fletching is not in yet. But that won't be an issue against the spears. It's more so an issue against the archers. But still, I mean, if you have the scouts, it should end up being okay. Villagers have to pull back. Man-at-arms kill a skirmisher. Again, it's a little awkward right now for Dragonstar. And Faraday, I think, should consider, and it seems nuts, I think he should go for scouts here. If his opponent can't take gold, his opponent can't go up, right? He probably won't do this. I think he's going to try and maybe mark it and go up to Castle Age faster. But man, oh man, it would be so good if maybe he could go scouts against skirms. Still so tricky. The Tiger's not going to make it any easier. Because what he doesn't want to do is stop right now. Because this is a good army comp for Dragonstar, who finally has fletching. And Dragonstar's micro is good. As he pulls back, he's going to take out... Ooh, God. He takes out the spears. And this archer man-at-arms spearman army is suddenly almost completely countered by a tiger. But no, by skirmishers. The skirmishers are still looking so strong. By the way, as I know most of you guys don't play competitive games online, the other thing to point out here, as you see some misplays here or there, is I feel like the server situation would be really awkward with this type of a matchup. We have Brazil against India. So I don't know what server's in between those two, but I imagine they're probably playing on a European server, which probably sucks for both of them. And I would have to maybe do my research on that. And there are situations, like when I play, it's never going to be right smack dab in the middle. So when I play tourneys, we normally alternate. So I'll be on a server that's 150 ping for one game. Then the next one, it's like 50 ping for me. We go back and forth. But for these two, it's like, there's probably a decent amount of ping. Let's put it that way. Not to mention, I don't consider both of them extreme micro players. Whoa, 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 whoa. This macro from Faraday is beautiful. He's towered his gold. He's full walled in towards his resources, and he is on the way to Castle Age. What in the world? We got more walls coming up here for Dragonstar. I really like them. Could have been a little less creative. Could have always just walled this way, but it's been an eventful game. Wow. Still beats peer-to-peer? Oh, it definitely does, yeah. Definitely beats peer-to-peer. Servers are such a game changer. Servers and quality of life improvements for playing the game, like seeing how many villagers you have on each resource and things like that, were just massive changes. So Dragonstar sees the tower, and when you run into the tower, you have its decision-making time. And he decides to sit directly underneath it, which I think is an interesting choice. I mean, he couldn't really do tons of damage elsewhere, excuse me. Faraday on the way to castle has two stables here. We'll eventually have to clean that up, but he's off of gold right now. I'm trying to do the math. I think he can afford bodkin arrow and crossbow. As here he comes. Palisade wall has not been completed by Dragonstar. If Faraday sees that, Faraday could break through that really quickly, and it would force a tower from Dragonstar. He needs a tower on that gold, I think. Hey. Oh, yeah. Okay, Dragonstar tower right now. You don't have army here, dude. Tower right now. Tower your gold. If not finishing that palisade wall hurts him here, he's going to be kicking himself. A lot of players will distract, though. Yeah, he distracts with the army. Actually, really sick micro as well. Unfortunately, he'll lose some of his army. But yeah, that's the best result there. Is just keep your villagers on gold and get a tower up. I don't think he would have wanted to lose that much army, but I think it's better than losing the vills, as he's got 3 ranges, and he needs to buy himself time. Meanwhile, over here, the knights show up. The knights clear this up, and Faraday is looking to be in a better position. Still no bodkin arrow, though. Still no bodkin, because he made knights, so he doesn't have the gold for that upgrade. And Huns are no joke, guys. If Huns can get 4 ranges out, and Huns can master those cav archers in Castle Age, they can dominate any civ. And Faraday's looking to boom right now. He's going to add the second TC. And he's hoping that the crossbows and the knights that he has can do damage against Dragonstar. Which, truthfully, it should be able to do a lot of damage, because Dragonstar right now doesn't have anything except skirms. He gets Bodkin Arrow. He hasn't clicked Elite Skirm yet, which is a surprise. He's going for the University for Ballistics, which is not really a surprise. And I'd love to see Faraday continue this pressure. It's been constant in the series. Still no Elite Skirmisher for these Skirmishers. I think you need to get Elite Skirmisher here. Still trying to get some shots in. Maybe he'll click it later. Maybe he wants a few Cav Archers first. Because Elite Skirm does take a while. Dragonstar with the Stonewall. Wow, well played. Very well played there. Because if the Knights came in right now, it would be really bad for him. But his Cav Archers are hitting the Knights, which don't have many upgrades. And the normal Skirmishers have not died yet. And Dragonstar with the damage control. Wow, this is so impressive. Now there's only one Knight. And now I'm not really sure you can dive here if you're Faraday. Well played, Dragonstar. That was impressive. I think I would have struggled there without a lead skirmisher. Now it's 12 army versus 9. Faraday will take the Vil lead because he's on 2 TCs. About to go to 3 TCs. And it just feels like his... I feel like his transition into economy on this map makes him look top 40. Based on all the other sets we've seen, his comfort level with transitioning his eco here is just insane. He's got his proper eco upgrades. The TC positions are honestly perfect. In front of the gold on the stone. This is a very, very, very good performance from Faraday. But can he deal with the Cav Archers? See, when you add the town centers, what you give up is military. And when you're up against Huns that can flood so much military, it can get really, really awkward for you. Dragonstar will recoup some of the stone he lost from the tower and the stone walls, so he can eventually add a second TC. But he's got ballistics. Yeah, Zilverdog, you're also going to see the TC idle time go up for Faraday right now, because he's going to freak out about army production. Right? So he's going to realize, oh crap, I need army, and he won't have the TC. Having 3 TCs right now is great. But it's tough to produce villagers out of all 3 and also make camels and get upgrades. So I guess the downside, and I said his transition was good. The downside is that he's almost trying to transition like he was Leary. I have this problem where I'll try and do everything that the very top players can get away with. And then I'll get punished by army flood sometimes. So for me, I've adapted and I just flood more army. I kind of take the Dragonstar approach. And then add the town centers. And I preach that to you guys during low Elo Legends all the time. Is take control and then add the economy. Camos are actually really good against Cav Archers if the Cav Archers are in low numbers. If the Camels get hits, they shred the Cav Archers. But the problem is, are you going to be able to get hits? And I said it before. Mongols really struggle with army and castle. It's all about Dark Age and early feudal and then imp for them. They don't have great camels long-term. They don't have great knights long-term. What they want is a castle and they want Mangadai, and you're seeing that now. Second town center for Dragonstar, who's in a do-or-die situation here. Vil count's very even, and Faraday continues to fall back to defensive towers as he finally gets chain barding. There's a chance he gets guard tower, because he's just now going to complete a university. I don't know how expensive guard tower is. I think it's like food and wood. It's really weird. You'd think it might cost stone, but I don't think it does. But the problem is, even if you have guard tower, you probably need ballistics. You probably need bodkin. And it just still doesn't save you from losing villagers, so it's still tough. We have a Mangonel here. Now, guard tower would be good against siege push. Mangonel is there. And we have husbandry now for Faraday. So he has armor. The full armor on the camels. Again, good if he has numbers. He doesn't have numbers yet. But he will soon have the resources to drop a castle, and that would get really scary for Huns. Great job from Dragonstar with this pressure. I love it. And finally, that villager dies. He's been there for a bit. And another villager dies. And you react a little too late, and you're going to lose your eco lead here if you're Faraday. Yeah, and it's so tough when Huns get to this number of Cav Archers. If Huns get to 25 Cav Archers, you're in big trouble. You can't do any... You can't transition into anything more right now. If you go Skirm, the siege is out to destroy you. If you go Camels, there's too many Cav Archers. It feels like you need to hope for a defensive castle, and you need to hope that Dragonstar can't push home his advantage anymore. And so that's what the tower idea does. It makes it so the Cav Archers can't really move around as much. So I do actually like the guard tower choice a lot. It's unfortunate, though, that this original tower wasn't here. Because if a guard tower was here, it would actually breach the siege and push that back. So instead, he has to opt for his own siege. And there's a very good chance that we'll see Dragonstar snipe that siege, as he's already up with the siege numbers and has good micro with his Cav Archers. Also, big issue there. I'll explain in a second. He repaired in the center of the TC, which would be a mistake. Dragonstar, oh, can he get that? Because he's going to lose his mangonel to the TC. He loses the mangonel to the TC. He could lose another one. And Faraday is going to take out the siege and could at least complete the tower here. But he's also lost all of his units. Holy crap, though. This is epic. As he lands a shot, or sorry, doesn't land a shot there. That mangonel's on 2 HP. So I think both players got a little fortunate in that position there. We now see a castle right behind the town center for Faraday. Woo-wee. That was nuts. Okay. But the thing is, it's 65 to 71 eco. If this castle goes up, Mangadai can start coming out. And maybe with 1 or 2 more mangonel shots. Now, Scorpion's a bad idea. That's awful. He must have been lacking gold. But maybe with 1 or 2 mangonel shots, he could just take out the siege. Slowly start making the Mangadai. Actually, guys, he's having big gold problems. And he's now out of stone. Oh, excuse me. He's got gold back here. And I hate this castle now because the castle doesn't actually protect his TC. Faraday looked good. Dragonstar responding. Kind of how we expected him to respond in some of the earlier games, right? I think this map just plays into more of a standard lands map, which is what Dragonstar's a beast at. This went from 0 to 100 real quick. 117 pop versus 74. And now this TC could be in trouble. And I think Faraday is struggling to find a response now. So what I wanted to talk about, this is a weird little bug. But do you remember when Faraday repaired his TC? And he repaired in the center? So if you click your repair hotkey and then repair a TC, the villagers go to the center, like right here. They clump up and they repair, which is obviously really bad against siege. If you just grab your vills and right-click the TC, they'll repair from the outer ring. It's so weird how that's different. But that's actually a crucial thing when you're getting... when you have siege in your TCs. It's a really big deal to remember that. And I don't know if there's any other things like that. Like, if you repair a fire ship with the hotkey or just right-clicking, I don't know if there's any difference, but... just a funny thing to bring up. Because I've seen players lose 15 villagers repairing a TC because of that. And I guess Faraday's thinking skirm right now. How many Mangadai would even make sense at this point? Like, okay, Mangadai is your ideal unit, yes. But how many Mangadai would even work? You'd need to have 25 Mangadai. like, you'd need to have more than 25 Mangadai. Mangadai are good, but they're not great until Imp. And then you only have 1 castle to produce them out of. So this is the trap you fall into with Mongols. You think, I'll just boom and go Mangadai later. But then the Huns take full control of you at this stage of the game. And Dragonstar is on the way to Imp. He's going to eat another TC. Let's see if he does the repair thing again. I don't know where he's going. He's going to drop a forward castle here. And this is going to game 5, people. This is going to game 5. Because the Cav Archers will be upgraded. The Trebs will come out of the forward castle. This isn't even enough in the way of skirmishers. Crazy series here. And Faraday calls it. Well played from Dragonstar. And Faraday opened so good there. He killed villagers with the man-at-arms. His archer switch looked good. But I think once it got to late feudal, everything just looked a whole lot better for Dragonstar. It's like there's a good player in there. And we've just been waiting for that 25th seed to come out. And now he responds. And that means we have a game 5 that will go to Houseboat, which has probably been the most entertaining map so far this tournament, though people might disagree on that. Holy cow. Now, that's not the first time I've seen Mongols do damage early feudal and then die in the mid game. So remember that. We had Chinese beating Mongols in another series. We had Mayans beating Mongols in another series. And now Huns beating Mongols. And I think Berbers beating Mongols. I don't know. There's a lot of factors involved, but I don't think Faraday necessarily played bad. Now, if you want to really talk about what Faraday should have done differently, is I think he should never go 3 TC. Because the second he went 3 TC, he couldn't afford to produce out of his stables. So I think he was hoping to get more damage from his crossbow and knights and then boom on 3 TCs. But after not doing any more damage, he went for the town centers and he didn't have any more crossbows coming out. He didn't have, I think he only had 1 archery range. I'd prefer to see 2 archery range, 2 stables, control the map, and just kind of brace yourself from that Hun pressure and then maybe add the eco later. I don't know. It's complicated. Yeah, he did make 2 universities. He must have been stressed. He must have forgot he made one before. I don't know why he has another university. Actually, you know what? Oh, never mind. I was going to say if he's anything like me, he wanted to make a monastery and misclicked it. But he already has a monastery. So, I don't know exactly what happened there, except for it was high-pressure stuff. And we have Game 5 next. Yeah, Christar, I think Faraday has actually played better if you were to compare the two of them right now. Like, if you look at Dragonstar's losses versus Faraday's losses, Faraday has been closer to winning his losses than Dragonstar has. So, Faraday has been extremely prepped. He also doesn't seem to be too nervous. Game 5 houseboat. I'll look to the civs real quick. We know it will be the houseboat. So, well, we've got Byzantines and Indians available for Dragonstar. It will be Mayans and Portuguese available for Faraday. And here we go. Okay, Capture Age is going to load up. We're going to switch the colors again. And welcome, my friends, to game number 5. I should say it because we made it all the way here. Thanks again for watching another full series of WWC with me. And Houseboat has just been a banger, man. Houseboat has been a banger. I love how we have so many games with Houseboat where someone seems completely dead and then they come back. I think it's because of the eco transitions and how you run out of fish and then the rest of your economy is a mess in the Castle Age. But I'm hoping this one goes to Imp again. And as I look at the civilizations... Excuse me. I really like the Mayans here. The Mayans have an insane win rate in this tourney on this map. I don't think Indians are too bad either, but lots to talk about here. And certainly I think Dragonstar should fear Faraday and fear the Mayans. Indians do collect food faster from shorefish, aka box turtles in this case. So you don't need to have as much on food at the start, as that's how you're going to get your food. The 4 shorefish here. Players then will transport out. They'll then chop wood. And then they'll usually use that wood to dock, either on the outside or the inside of their water, and then add fishing ships. The most consistent strategy we've seen in this map has been sending a villager forward to dock the opponent's water. That has been the most consistent strat. Dock the opponent's water, pressure their fish, and then if you pressure their fish, you're also pressuring their transport. And then they won't be able to transport. If they can't transport, the villagers are stranded, and then that's useless economy. So, now Mayans have gone fast castle quite a bit. Like, some Mayan players just kind of give up water a little bit, wall their base, and with the way this wood line's looking for Dragonstar, for Faraday, I could see him considering that, especially with this house already. Another thing that I've talked about a lot is finding the hunt in the corners eventually. I think there's going to be spots where these players are going to take the 2 berries or where they take the outer shorefish because they haven't scouted the corners. And in the corners, you're normally going to have some berries, but you're going to have hunt as well. And you can see that right here, right? So I think if I were to play this tourney again, unfortunately, freaking Tata was my round 2 opponent, but if I were to play this tourney again, that would be the number 1 change I would make, is in Dark Age, my scout would not necessarily scout the middle much, is I would scout my corners so I knew where to go later on when the going got rough. In my first round, it went to the final game, and it was Houseboat. And my opponent, upon watching the recorded game, found an elephant and deer. And I only found 4 deer, and there was an elephant close by, and I should have known. So you have to think about the long term already. And I think so much more than you do on other maps. And then you also have to do so much more to play this compared to other maps in the Dark Age. A houseboat is a boat that has been designed or modified to be used primarily as a home. Some houseboats are not motorized because they are usually moored, kept stationary at a fixed point, and often tethered. Steven! Did we really need that in chat? Okay, well, here's the scout from Faraday. And Faraday sees the shoreline. So, yeah, he's walling up. Hopefully he checks back here. But he is walling up. I feel like a good way to counter someone walling to their water is just take their water. And I'm looking at Dragonstar, who just got housed a little bit. And he's got water buffaloes he could maybe bring into his TC because he's about to run out of food here. And he has also scouted the water. Why no one docks the forward of their own pond to see the enemy just in case he tries? I think there's two things to say is bad about that. The first thing that's bad about that is that then your fishing ships are going to go right next to their dock to drop off the food. You see this? So the fishing ships are on the other side, and they're safer because they drop off the food back here. That's the first thing. Also, nice touch from both of them to take the shorefish next to their dock. I really like that because that's extra food. The other reason about why I wouldn't dock the front is because knowing they're there is also something that's very easy to scout in the first place, and knowing they're there doesn't really change how you respond to it. You're still kind of screwed, or you're still in a rough spot. So, now wait a moment. Wait a moment. Faraday sees this villager. This villager's coming forward, and an eagle can kill a villager. Attack it. An eagle can kill a villager if it's in Dark Age. It needs to attack with the hill bonus, man. No, I think he should be fighting this. If he had the hill bonus, that was an opportunity to stop this whole strat. Okay, is attacking now, but I think could have had hits with the hill bonus. Dragonstar will now come in with the scout. I'm a little bummed that Faraday wasn't more aggressive there. I really think with a couple hits there on the hill, he could have delayed this more. And great job from Dragonstar. As he knows he's been spotted, he'll bring over his scout. In 30 seconds, the scout will have extra attack, so we'll kill the eagle. And he will also complete his dock. Wow, that was well done. Now, hold on a second. This is going to get exciting for Faraday until it's not. Yeah. And Faraday does a really good job. And he's going to save his eagle and get into the transport ship. Faraday, double dock from home. It's like he's inviting the pressure here. Double dock from home. And I think we're going to see this more and more. Because if the common strategy is to double dock forward, sometimes you just go, yeah, go triple dock at home. Just say, come at me, bro. The downside here, though, is you're not doing any damage to the opponent's eco whatsoever. So sometimes it's worth it to just go forward anyways. All right. Yeah, there is still a hole here for Faraday, which he'll probably find out now. And unfortunately, he could lose his eagle due to that hole. But also lose the water buffalo. Here comes the first fire for Dragonstar, who is faster to the next age. And Dragonstar going 3 docks here. I don't know. What do you guys think about inviting pressure like this? I think, like the typical caster, I'll give you my opinion on it after I find out if it works or not. Because if it works, it looks brilliant. But right now, I just see a player who's reacting to the enemy and who's unable to do any damage to the enemy. And I don't like that. Age of Empires 2 is inherently a defensive game, but I'm not sure I like that. Now, I'm curious on the execution at home for Dragonstar. Yeah, like, he's not creating vills, and he's only got 3 on food, and he's got vills inside the transport. So they're super focused on the micro. And, of course, it is game number 5, as Dragonstar gets a kill there, and he could get another one. But pop out with the next villager here and repair. Oh, back away, Faraday! Back away, my friend. Could hop into the TC. Demo could be huge here. Does Faraday see this? Does he see it? He doesn't see it. He'll lose the transport. Demo comes in. The demo lands. It's a good demo, but it's still a good position for Faraday, who now cannot transport vills across. Which sucks. I think Dragonstar is in the better position right now. He can still transport villagers across to collect resources. Faraday needs to clear up on water soon. If Dragonstar can just keep production going here, and he will essentially keep Faraday honest, meaning that Faraday can't produce a transport because he has to produce fires constantly. In theory, this should be Dragonstar's game. Okay, here we go. Still seeing repairs. I think the villagers should be repairing more. You should never get surprised here by a demo either. I think, well, it's easy for him to get surprised by a demo because he's so close to the docks right now, and he comes out with his own demo, and that demo does lands. But for Faraday, he's producing vills that can't work. Another demo, more repairs for him, and more repairs needed for Dragonstar. And we have to say, Dragonstar, as we see another transport ship for Faraday, Dragonstar has improved his repair game, but no! The gather point was set forward. Oh my god, dude, what is happening here? And wait a second. Faraday could clear up both of these. He gets one, he gets two. What? What? And he can now repair his transport, maybe control his water, and get to resources. He's alive, people. He's alive. And the score is going to freak Faraday out. It might make people in chat think weird things as well, but trust me, he's fine. That score is simply due to the scouting right now. If you look at Dragonstar, Dragonstar's got his scout scouting the whole map. You get 100 points for 10% of the map scouted, so that's what's going on right now. Dragonstar has transitioned his eco over to berries. He's got water buffaloes too. He's still got plenty of fish here, but he's got plenty of wood he might need to spend. Telling you, man, like, you guys think it's crazy to watch this? Imagine playing in those scenarios. I lost my transport ship when I played. And in hindsight, I still think my opponent should have killed me off. I still think I should have died in my game 3, round 1. I'm also super bummed that I didn't get to play Tato on Houseboat in round 2. Because I prepared a special strat for Houseboat, which I eventually told Tato about. And he said he likes it. We'll see if Tato uses it. But anyways, the 2 maps that I prepared strats for were Tato's home maps. So I was, combined with being sick and being Tato, I was a little bummed. But again, okay, you've got 11 fire ships on your own freaking pond. It still feels so weird, right? Now, this is probably not the time for it, but how good would it be for Faraday to dock over here now? If he could get a Vil snuck over there and then take out Dragonstar's transport, that would be good for Faraday, excuse me. What do you do with the fires once you've cleaned up your opponent's docks? Yeah, that's a problem too, right? I think at some stage of the game you could consider deleting them. But truthfully, I think you need to keep them there because people do try and come back on water. But stop producing now. Stop producing. You're fine now. He's using the market. He is on stone. He's going to try and go fast castle, and his time will be pretty similar to Dragonstar. Faraday has had to face so much adversity in this series. As the 89th seed, and he's still somehow alive, man. Also, having this many ships boosts your score. So if we're talking score, and that being an intimidation factor, you definitely want to keep him alive. Crazy. Curie, thank you. He says, hope you're well again. I'm confused to see my favorite Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 streamer casting AoE2. Right? It's a new game. I'm giving it a shot. We'll see if it works out for me. 3 ranges for Dragonstar. Whoa. That tells me he's going to go Cav Archers, guys. And I think there's potential for that to work because Cav Archers... I mean, there's a downside, okay? They can only be produced when he arrives to Castle Age. But he'll have 3 ranges to produce from. He'll be in Castle Age faster. And his opponent isn't completely stonewalled. Like, there's still a hole here, so he can take that shorefish. And this is Palisade walled. So I think if this was full stonewalled, I'd say Faraday's fine. But he will soon be out of gold here. He's definitely going to need a castle. If he has his transport, I think maybe transporting Vils over here to drop a castle on the front would be the play. But we have a close game here. How do Eagles do against Cav Archers? Really bad, actually. Really bad. because, well, Castle Age Eagles are quite bad because I think they have 5 Pierce Armor and Cav Archers with full attack have 8 attack. Forgive me if I don't have the stats right, but basically Masked Cav Archers is actually legitimately a good strategy against Castle Age Eagles. Arguably even better than Longswords because Eagles can chase it down. Eagles can run away from the Longswords and Cav Archers can chase Eagles down. But Plumed Archers are the unit here. That is the unit you want. Will we get that castle down for Faraday? I think the answer is yes if he sends like 5 more vills. And I hope he castles near a gold, because he really needs a gold. I think what he'll do, actually, is he's going to castle here. And then he's going to... Of course he'll get this up. What am I talking about? I think he'll castle here. And this is a perfect TC spot. And then he's fine. Okay, so this is that stage of the game where people start running out of food eco, and it looks really awkward. For Dragonstar, he's adding TCs, he's on Deer, and he has the farm upgrade, and he's farming. So this is a really clean transition. And okay, Castle goes up, more than fine, and there's the next TC. But, 3 on food. 3 on food isn't too good here. And he's going to start to correct that. But I think we're going to need a bit of market abuse here for Faraday. And I expect Dragonstar having the cheaper vills. I think Dragonstar is going to take a pretty significant vill lead over the next few minutes. Also, Dragonstar just deleted this, which is way earlier than I ever would, because he could still be producing out of 3 TCs, but he just said, screw that. I want my focus to be on my micro. And there is a hole here. Oh, man, there is a hole to the north of this, which Faraday is going to feel he needs to plug quickly, and he just drops a university. I mean, that works. You might want ballistics, so I guess that works. He doesn't have any good upgrades here. He doesn't even have fletching. I think what he desperately needs is more walls on this side, because if the Cav Archers can get through here, that'll be super annoying. But overall, he's fine. There's just a few spots where Dragonstar can do damage, and it's all really tough. And to be fair, he also doesn't even have Bodkin, so... Another TC. So that's 3 TCs. It could have been 4. But he didn't want to play the transport game, which is the game that Faraday's continued to play. It's given Faraday time, and Faraday really adding that food eco now. Honestly, maybe delete the slumber camp in a couple houses and make a mill in some farms here. Okay, here come the CA. I think Dragonstar saw the TC, and he's like, nope. What I don't want to do is get trapped in here. And, oh, he's going to go siege, too. I like that. I really, really like that. 71 population for 69. This might actually be the best of 5 from the round of 64. I said yesterday, I still think Land and Licks was the most hype. And then maybe Hallis Fish. But Land and Licks, Hallis Fish, and then this best of 5. These are the best of 5s of the tourney so far. In terms of how competitive they are. And again, Indian villagers are dirt cheap. Dragonstar's thinking about adding quite a few of them here. And then I also love his scouting, so I'd love to see him get the relics. And maybe even make outposts everywhere. Maybe it's not the stage at 60 vills. But when you're 80 vills, having 1 or 2 around on each side making outposts will be important. What's up, Zach? Thanks, Brian, for the sub, and Ty for the sub, by the way. Here comes the Plumed Archers. Cav Archers don't actually have bloodlines yet. Actually, the Cav Archers should maybe be careful here. The HP on the unit is the same here. And I think with Plumes, it's the fact they're cheaper. And when you can get a few castles to produce them, it's really tough for Indians to do much. I think Indians will likely go for Hussar. Their Hussars are decent against ranged units. And then maybe we'll see Halbs later. But Dragonstar definitely hit a spot where he's a little unsure on what he should do. Oh, man, Faraday. I don't think he knew that was there. I think he clicked that forward and just happened to... just happened to survive that shot. Oh, my God. And Dragonstar is going to see the TC now. He's also going to see the Castle Foundation. And Bodkin Arrow is needed right now for Faraday. Great pressure from Dragonstar. As you can see the Vill lead now. Now, he might have clicked Bodkin Arrow thinking he has it. That happens. Oh, never mind. He clicked it because he does have it coming in now. Now he's using the market. Now he doesn't have stone for the next castle. And he does have the gold back here. I think he should calm down. I think he doesn't need to YOLO everything after to protect this TC right now. This TC reminds me of the TC in the previous game, right? I don't think it protects his town center. I would have preferred it be here. But this is the pressure from Dragonstar coming in. And here come the plumes with Bodkin, with armor. And Dragonstar notices it. Dragonstar noticed it immediately. And he's coming back with his Cav Archers. Very well played. Because if those Cav Archers... sorry, if the plumes would have run through, it would have been disastrous. And now 85 vills versus 59. Indian villagers are so cheap. And Dragonstar has so many TCs. And he's from India! What better player to dominate with the Indians than Dragonstar? I'm still waiting for my billion views on a YouTube video including Indians. Like, there's so many people, man. Come on, that's got to be my next strategy. Boost up the channel. Indian mirror matchup on Arabia. I don't know. Haven't been super convinced with the plumes thus far, but we do have ballistics on the way. Ballistics also on the way for Dragonstar. The plumes do have the hill, but half of them don't want to fight right now. Half of them don't want to engage, and that hurts. And now they're going to go down. And it just seems like Dragonstar, man, over the last 5 minutes, has done such a good job expanding eco and producing military. Kind of reminds me of how he played with Huns in that one game. We do have double castle now for Faraday. Faraday's going to have more stone in the back. He can take this gold now that that castle's up. He, of course, is only on 3 TCs now. And this TC still has to transport with, which sucks. But I think plumed archers are the better unit. I think Dragonstar needs to recognize that he's got to go imp faster here. Also, just opening Hussar would look so good, I think. And if he can keep Faraday from expanding to the north, yeah, here come the outposts. If he can keep an eye on all of this and just keep Faraday stuck in that corner, I think the future is going to look very bright for Dragonstar. Full armor soon for Faraday, though. The only upgrade he'll be missing in this age is going to be Thumb Ring, but I don't think he needs that to take good fight against the Cav Archers. I'd really like to see stables now for Dragonstar, and I think he's going to drop a very forward castle here, so he can try and go Trebs in the next stage to push back the castles from Faraday. Because he knows the plumes are important, and look at his vision. Look, yeah, both players over here. I also like the houses and the buildings, and just the position of everything makes everything look so awkward for Faraday as Faraday wants to move around. A great hit there. And that's what that does, right? He hits your building as he patrols in. You see it. You snipe it. Not sure about this fight, though. I think the plumes win here, right? Yeah, I think the plumes will dominate that fight, as we do see another TC to expand for Faraday. And Faraday needs to go imp now. Obviously, he doesn't have a lot on food compared to Dragonstar. And I think being later to imp is really going to hurt here, but he needs imp. Sell some food. He's going to click imp. He should go imp in this TC. Sell wood. Imp. This TC. Don't go imp in another. Yeah, there you go. Because now you don't need to transport. I like the thought process to send the plumes out, because I don't think he knows about this. And even if he did, it would have been protected by siege. I think this is a good play. Dragonstar loses the monk. Unfortunate for the monk. But with the economy that Dragonstar has, Dragonstar can go for more. Also, Dragonstar will be able to get imp upgrades on the Cav Archers, and might be able to kill these plumed archers without even needing to tech switch. It sucks to be in Faraday's position. Because you need to kill villagers. You know you're behind, but you also don't want to lose your army before Imperial Age. So you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't in this spot. Unless Dragonstar gives you a fight right now. I don't think he should be anywhere near this. He is faster as well, so he can find the engagement. Plus, he can see it all. And Faraday's like, I'm out of here. Now, normally an eagle switch would be the go-to with Mayans. I don't think this is a situation where that's feasible for Faraday. He would need tons of blacksmith upgrades and the eagles themselves and the eagle upgrade 2 eagle upgrades, technically, and I just don't think he has the time. Plus, he's got a lot of plumes, and Dragonstar didn't take an engagement against those plumes. This is another castle now for Dragonstar, as he is putting everything he has into taking out the most important building for the Mayans, and that's the castles. And for Faraday, he has to go Trebor here. If you haven't researched masonry, research masonry. You have to go Trebor. You can't go bombard cannons with your Civ. Indians can go bombard cannons, which also sucks. Because Dragonstar is gonna... Is he gonna do it immediately? That would be so sick. He has the potential to. You obviously get Bracer. You obviously get Chemistry yourself. But you have to sink 1,000+ stone into repairing this. You have no other choice. You have to. If you lose these castles, it's game over. Meanwhile, Bombard Cannon is on the way. The timing for Dragonstar is so good. And he's got 50 more villagers. He doesn't have more army, but the army for Faraday can't do anything underneath castles. So, I mean, I don't know what you do. I think you do have to send your plumes out. But it doesn't feel too great. You might even need to run underneath the castle to snipe the Bombard Cannons. If they were imped at the same time, it's different because chemistry takes 2 minutes to complete. But being 2 minutes faster for Dragonstar has given him such a big lead here. As this also gives the Indian player some time to tech switch. He should be making stables somewhere. I see upgrades. But maybe not just yet. Where is Cav Archers? I don't even see a CA right now. Oh, they're in the castle. Wow. Okay. Well, this will get interesting in a second because Dragonstar's castle goes down. And so now his bombard cannons are exposed. Obviously, the castle goes down for Faraday as well. But if Dragonstar loses the next castle, as the Mangonels get some big hits, maybe the plumes are strong enough here. Feels like he's so desperate, though. He backs up, and he's lost plumes, and he's lost one of the buildings that needs to produce plumed archers, and the Cav Archers have good upgrades and still will. Okay, castle goes down, but the bombard cannons are still there. Treb down for Faraday. He's 104 pop. He's going to drop another castle here. But he needs stone to repair this one. Maybe it'll confuse Dragonstar. Maybe Dragonstar will have to decide on which one to attack. The plumes seem so weak right now. And they haven't really been able to get any good kills on the Cav Archers either. Okay, this castle goes down as we expected. The next one is the next target for Dragonstar. He's got so much control behind this. And the plumes, man, they just can't get in close enough to the Cav Archers. It almost feels like the Cav Archers have one additional range, but that's not the case. Great play from Dragonstar. Obviously, it's been a shaky series for a 25 seed. He's had some mistakes that he's had to work past. But the plumed archer army is pretty much gone at this point. The military stats are deceiving for Faraday because he's got fires. He does not really have any working military anymore. And that is the end. Dragonstar will move on. And I feel so bad for Faraday. Oh my god, I feel so bad for Faraday. Now, I can't look at this and say that Dragonstar didn't deserve to win this series. He definitely deserved to win this series. But my goodness, did it take him some time to warm up? This and the previous game was what we were expecting from Dragonstar in this series. Why I didn't initially put this on my list of things to cast. But the first couple games, man, especially the games that had decent amounts of water on it, he really didn't look too strong. He fortunately, we'll get to go back to the drawing board and we'll get to practice and get to see what he did wrong and try and improve upon his mistakes. But my salutes go out to Faraday because Faraday, you played like a beast, man. You played like a player who's way better than the 89th seed, and I think you have a lot to be proud of. And I'm also a little proud because Faraday and I hung around the 2K, 2K1 level for so many years together, like dating back to like 2017, 2018. So I'm sure his boys in the Brazilian Discord are really pumped for him too that he played so well. But sheesh, man. Great series. Great series. Let's look, though. Let's look at what decided this game. And you can see it is all about Castle Age, man. Eco transitions. Dragonstar, he started adding the farms. He added the TCs. His villagers were also cheap, which really helped. And I think the Cav Archers did bring more value than maybe we saw on paper in the mid game there. Faraday never felt comfortable moving out, and when he did move out, there was always a response for Dragonstar. It felt like those plumed archers were told by their parents not to go outside today. And then they'd go outside and they'd be like, oh crap, mom and dad are going to get home, and they'd have to run back. They were always scared. You know, they never felt confident moving out, and there was never really anything for them to do out there. And I think we even though Faraday survived the triple dock rush from Dragonstar, which was very good, I think that in the end, Faraday took damage. Faraday had to react. He was never a proactive bone in his body in the feudal age. There were few instances in Castle, and then an imp he had nothing either. So Dragonstar took the control, kept the control, did what he needed to with all that control, and had amazing macro, and definitely played like a player who went through a wake-up call in after losing game number 3. I think after losing game number 3, he took a minute or two to say, listen, dude, like, you've got to step it up, and we have to show what we're made of. So Chad was talking about who Dragonstar faces next. I think it might be Jordan, so that's going to be obviously quite tricky for Dragonstar. But again, I think he'll play better against Jordan than he did against Faraday because he'll learn some lessons. But I'm going to double-check that, actually. Let's see. Wandering, Warriors Cup, AoE 2. Oh, Faraday's in chat. What's up, dude? Congrats. He says, thank you. It's an honor that you casted. I'll favorite Nomad on ladder and get 2K2. Yo, dude, that's awesome. You played really well. And I told my chat that you're not necessarily an experienced Nomad player. Maybe you looked like one, but I don't think you play Nomad all the time. So, okay. Yeah, so when you look at the bracket, it will be Jordan against Dragonstar in the next round. Cool.